Hello and welcome to this video on how to factor a four-term polynomial. The purpose of factoring is to take a polynomial and put it into two sets of parentheses, two or more sets of parentheses. And so with a four-term polynomial, there's four steps. Step number one is to split the problem in half. I sometimes like to think of it as a chainsaw. We're going to chop this problem right in half. And then we're going to step number two, factor just the left. So looking at just x cubed and 5x squared, what could we take out of both of these? What's the common stuff in each of these terms? Well, it looks like it's an x squared. I could take an x squared out of this and an x squared out of that. So I pull out the x squared, and if I did that, I'd be left with 1x here because we would subtract the exponents. And here the x squareds would be gone, so I'd just be left with plus 5. Okay, good. Step number three is to factor the right. What can come out of 3x and 15? Looks like a 3. So I take out a 3, and I'd be left with just the x, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, if you've done this correctly, you'll be left with a common parenthesis. Notice that we have x plus 5 and x plus 5. If you don't have a common parenthesis, then you've either done something wrong or the problem does not factor. So because we have an x plus 5 and an x plus 5, we've done it right. And our final answer is going to be the common parenthesis. So I'm going to have an x plus 5 in my final answer. That common parenthesis gets factored out. And I then in my second parenthesis put the leftovers. The leftovers are these values here, not involved in the x plus 5. And so my final answer is x plus 5 and the leftovers x squared plus 3. That's how we factor a four-term polynomial. It's called factor by grouping. We split the problem in half, factor the left, factor the right, and then write our answer as the common parenthesis, and then the leftovers go in the other parenthesis. Let's have you try a few problems. Okay, so here are 3 questions for you to try. These are all four-term polynomials. So go ahead and use our 4-step procedure for factoring these polynomials. When you're ready to check your answer, press the unpause button, and we'll see how you did. Okay, step number 1. On number 1, we chainsaw the problem. Over here on the left, I can take out an x squared. When I divide this by x squared, I'm left with x. And when I divide this by x squared, I'm left with 4. Here on the right side, it looks like I can take out a 5. That leaves me with x plus 4. Do I have a common parenthesis? Yep, that means I did it right. And my answer is going to be x plus 4, and then whatever's in the leftovers, x squared plus 5. Number 2, same procedure. Over here on the left, I can take out, nothing comes out of 2 and 5. So it looks like the only thing I can take out of here is an x. So I take out an x. That leaves me with 2x plus 5. And here I'm going to take out, it looks like a 3. Ooh, but there's a negative in each one. So I'm going to take out a negative 3. When I take out a negative 3, I'm left with 2x plus 5. Notice that I have some common parentheses here. So that goes in my answer, along with the leftovers, which would be x minus 3. Looks like I have a typo in this problem. Hopefully that didn't mess you up. I apologize. It should be 6x cubed minus 10x squared minus 9x plus 15. Let's give it a shot. Over here, I'm going to take out, I can take out x squared and a 2. 2x squared. 2x squared. So I take out 2x squared. That would leave me with 6 divided by 2 is 3, and it'd be 1x. And 10 divided by 2 is 5, and the x's would go away. Okay. Here I can take out a 3. That would leave me with 3x plus 5. Uh-oh. But that's not the same, so I need to take out a negative 3. If we factored out a negative 3, that would leave me with 3x minus 5. Do you see what happens? If your negatives aren't right, make sure to take out a negative, and that'll switch your sign. Now I've got my common parenthesis, and so my final answer is the common parenthesis, and then the leftovers, which are 2x squared minus 3. It doesn't matter what order you write these. Some people like to switch them around and put the highest power first. That's fine. Either way, that is how you factor a four-term polynomial. Thanks for watching.